Greetings everyone from Michigan, Zone 6A. Today is a beautiful day, 51 degrees, even a little bit of sun, and it's a perfect day for repotting. Hello, in today's video I will talk about repotting, why, how, and when, show you some examples. And although I have fig trees here, this also reflects on other species of plants grown in containers. This is our volunteer here, YOLO bypass variety. Let me say a few words about why do we need to repot our trees. The short, simple answer will be for the health of the tree. This young plant has been grown in this container 5-gallon bucket for almost 2.5 years. And in the first year, the roots have reached the interior side of container, which is very slippery. And then at that point, they will ricochet and start growing in a circle. And that continues towards the next season. So now we have a root mass that's greatly expanded. It consists mostly of those long roots and not as much of the feeder, finer roots. They grow at the tips. And those are the ones that are responsible for the nutrient and water uptake. Also, the air penetration is slower, diminished, because the mass is very dense. If you have tried to water pot-bound container, you'll notice that the water will just slide down the sides. It is very hard for it to penetrate the mass. And now we have to repot this tree. We have to root prune this tree and either use a larger container or use the same container if the size of the container is large enough and the size of the tree is desired. In my case, I will now repot to a 7-gallon and I will use these grow bags. I decided to use grow bags after watching presentation of Dr. Carl Whitcomb on YouTube. Channel name Leisberg Incorporated, and he's the father, inventor of these grow bags, this new system for growing plants in containers. And I will suggest that you watch his presentation and learn more about scientific explanation why the trees grown in the grow bags are healthier than in these traditional plastic containers. Now, when to repot? Well, in dormant season, of course, I'm going to awaken my trees from dormancy, and they'll be dormant for about a month now, sooner than what our temperature, outside temperature, will allow us to do. For that reason, I have to do it now, about this time of year, before the snow comes and cold. Also, the soil will be frozen, maybe. If you want to go according to the calendar, you can wait till just beginning of spring, end of winter, before the growth starts. That would be ideal, maybe to repot. Now I will show you what tools I'm going to use and demonstrate the actual repotting. I already made a video about potting mix, so if you haven't watched that, I would suggest that you watch it. And also here are the tools. Now, in my previous years, I would use this tool, bonsai rake, single prong. You can find one with 2 or 3 prongs, to kind of dislodge the soil and then roots and then cut them, prune them. Now, since I found a video on YouTube, this lady, Kinda Green Thumb channel, had used this handsaw, something like this, and that was better way, faster way. And now I find even more videos of people. I think All About Figs channel had used this hacksaw cordless tool, and this is even better. I have a wood cutting blade here, but you can also use maybe something that's more for the construction, maybe if you have a lot of maybe rocks, pebbles in your potting mix. I also disinfect all of my tools between each tree, and even this sawzall. I will first demonstrate here. So I just wash here the blade, and then I will use this toothbrush to further just disinfect and let it dry. So between each tree I'll do this. Now let me just position my camera. I'm using this stump to rest my trees. Sometimes they are really, the soil is stuck to the sides, so maybe you can just kind of tap down. Let's see. Now you can see this root mass, all of these roots. Now I'm gonna use my rake here. Very, very dense. I cannot even do this. It will take a long time for me to do this with a rake. For that reason, let me now show you the fastest, easiest way. I have two suckers here that I really don't need, but I'm gonna just go next to that. How much of a cutting do you have to do? I usually tend to do about an inch, inch and a half, and I go make a square, and then I knock down these corners possibly. I find that in these 5-gallon buckets, that's enough of these roots to be cut away. So you can see now here, there are no more roots there. All right, I will disinfect this later. Now I will use these cutters. And maybe I'll just knock down the corners. Okay, and now I will just make a clean cut on all of those roots that the saw has cut. Some of them will be damaged from the saw. And I will look now underneath to see if we have a lot of growth of roots on the bottom. Depending on the vigor, some trees have less than others. This one, I think I'm gonna cut the roots at the bottom too. I'll go about an inch. Okay. Very nice. Now let me show you this soil that we have just cut away. as you can see here, these are the roots that I have, kind of mass that I have cut off. And I can recycle this whole soil that I have removed, because this is still good soil. Main nutrient comes from the supplemental feeding. So I can just dislodge these roots, maybe even cover them further, and place them in my compost bin to process for a couple of years or so. I have plenty of potting mixes, but this is just okay to reuse. I actually think that this can be reused even in a now potting of the actual tree, that these roots contain nutrients, all the nutrients that the tree used for the leaves production, for the growth, for the fruit production are in here. So it is okay to use it maybe even in the same pot. I did not try it, but I will think that will be okay to use. Now, let me just grab the bag. Just in a case, for example, that you don't have enough soil, it is fine. It's fine. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use some of this root mass on the bottom. Another benefit of this is that these roots probably have growth of fungi, mycorrhiza, and this will be just beneficial for the same plant, because these are the same species that I'm going to use. Even this soil. Okay. This, by the way, is a common practice in bonsai potting, to reuse some of the same soil for that beneficial fungi. And they will slowly decompose these roots. Let me show you now from the top. Just a little bit too much, maybe. I want the surface of the root ball to be just about 1.5 to 2 inches, maybe below the edge of the grow bag. Let's do okay. A little bit more. I guess this grow bag is not as tall as the bucket. Okay, let me try this now. Okay, this will be okay. Now, what I want is to position the tree in the center. I'm gonna just spread these edges like that. Now this tree is in the center, and then go with the opposite side a little bit more this way, and also making sure that it's in an upright position. While adding soil, I will also shake at the same time. It is becoming quite windy. I hope you don't pick up the sound of the wind. Okay, now shake the root ball like that and add more. You can use also some tool maybe to kind of probe into the soil. In this case, the sides are fairly straight, so all the soil has settled. Okay, and this will be finished now. Now on the top, I will perhaps maybe just spread this evenly to make the look of these grow bags more circular. So maybe just a little bit more in this corner. Now if desired, you can do this also. You can top dress with some pine bark. These are fairly large. This is also beneficial for summertime to preserve the moisture. And finally, I like to water my plants just lightly, and I'm using liquid mycorrhiza. Now actually it's 5 millimeters, 1 teaspoon per 2 gallon. And just lightly, because I don't want my trees right now to have a lot of water. And I just go now back. I can see that it's just a slightly tilted, so I'll try to correct that. Now, since trees have to be in balance, and by that I mean the root ball and the top, all of these trees have to be pruned, and I don't have time now to demonstrate this, but I will make another video on all of these trees, how to prune them correctly. I find that pruning is one of the biggest enigma for new people, and even people that have been growing trees for a long time. They are not really able to prune correctly. So I will show you my experience how I do it. So, and this is done now. Let me show you around these trees also here. And now I will continue with these. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful for some of you. Have a great day.